Hello, lovely people. It's yet another episode of DND, that is Dada Next Door. As usual, I'm here to entertain you, here to inform you and educate you because I'm a journalist. Those who get it, get it. Anyway, my name is Tracy Kajuju, and today we'll be talking about mothers in general. We are in the Mother's Day week, Mother's Day mood. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting topic. So, stick around. Make sure you engage with us on all our platforms. We are Kelele TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and here on YouTube. Also, remember to subscribe to our channel. We are so grateful for the time you've given us, and we hope to continue with you on this journey. So, of course, joined by my lovely co-host, Sharon. Welcome. Salimia watu.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, wherever you're joining us from. Thank you for always creating time. Thank you for always listening to us. Sometimes I talk a lot. I don't know about Tracy. But yeah, double lesson time, listening to Sharon. It's always a pleasure. It's definitely a pleasure. We are still in the mood of Mother's Day and whatnot. And yeah, it's going to be a fantastic show, that's for sure.
Yeah, you've heard it from Double S. We still don't know where the Double S came from. Maybe one day she'll tell us the story.
It's very simple. There's no complicity to it. So I'm called Sharon, but my Ushago nickname is Gasheri. But I was called that. Gasheri is out of my Kikuyu name Njeri. But I was so tiny and small, so they couldn't call me Njeri, so they call me Gasheri. Anyone who is Kikuyu knows how we love smallening, if that is English, things. So when I grew up, I was like, listen, now I'm grown. I am a big person. Are you still going to have that GA in front of the name? So I got rid of the GA and it remains to be Sherry. So my professional name, Sharon, and then my little Jina la utani. Sherry.
Double okay. S. Yeah. I would never have thought, honestly. I was like, now where is this double S coming from? And I look at all your names and I'm like,
the S is just one. Why is it double?
And I'm like, anyway, that's you. You do you.
Yeah.
Boo.
So that's the long short story of why it's because. So if you know me professionally, you know me as Sharon. But if you know me off work, most people I have so many names, but sana those who know me from socials, it's usually Sherry. So
now I see. So now it makes sense for some things. Yeah.
What you mean?
But you know, how does Njeri turn to Gasheri? Because as we know, Gasheri as a name,
an independent name, right? So we have this thing in our family. I don't know about any other people, but where when you were small, because you know Kikuyus, we name people after grandparents and whatnot. So by the time I'm born, there were like 3 or 4 Njeris before me, and then it was so much work calling us by. So this is how they used to do it. So my father is called Newto and I'm called Njeri. So they'll either say Njeri Newto or Njeri Sharon. But now that's so much work. Why not make one person have a small, because she's the youngest as of then, call her Gasheri, Kanjeri, that way. Okay, so it's stuck. So there's another male cousin of mine who has my grandfather's name, but they wouldn't call him that name because there were like 2 other people with the same name. So they added a GA to Ga. I don't know if it's scoffed. I've not been given permission by him to say his name.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for giving us that brief history. Talking about names, people like creating their own nicknames, which is okay. But have you ever heard this phrase, mother in love? Because I heard it for the first time today and I was like, what the hell is mother in love? Well, I have never heard it, but apparently, Kabiwa Jesus calls his mother-in-law mother-in-love. And I'm like, what is it? I don't get it, to be honest. So actually, the story is there was a video of him and his mother-in-law dancing, and some people were like, no, you shouldn't be dancing with your mother-in-law. You should keep boundaries, all that, not, shenanigans, people blasting him. You know, everything celebrities do, we have to blast them for some reason. But the funny part is when he tried to defend himself, saying, my mother-in-law Sorry guys.
Tracy, umesema mapenzi.
Okay, make me understand. Maybe I'm the one who's behind.
So just for kidogo context. So this TikToker went online and started debunking. Kabi has been hanging out with the mother-in-law, like Millie's mom, for quite some time. They're doing TikToks together, they're creating content together, but we're not seeing the same energy with the mom. And it's been so long since we saw the mom on the platform. And then someone else on the comment section said, yeah, it's true. I hear Kabi's sister and Millie fell out. So much happened. And then it so happened after that TikToker made that video, Kabi made this video with Millie's mom. And they were just having fun. And now it came, see, now people started like, who has come here after seeing the TikTok from that lady? Well, you know how TikTok algorithm works. Yeah. And then, so, and people are like, and especially those that are Kikuyu, they were like, this phrase they used, Odoni do rarabo. Those who are Kikuyus, please help me. I do not know exactly what that means. I am part of you, but sijui hiyo lugha, sifahamu sana. But basically, I think from my understanding is you don't have to be that tight with your in-laws and specifically your parents-in-law. But with the new generation, nowadays we don't call them in-laws, we call them in love. My dad in love, my parents in love, my mom in love. Yeah, it's been there. So don't be astonished. So basically that was the whole story. So Kabi came out and said, oh, I've seen people commenting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but this is my mother in love. I'll do ABCD, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and here we are talking about it.
To be honest, I heard that phrase for the first time from him.
Really?
Yeah. But why? Why does it change from mother-in-law to mother-in-love?
They just, I mean, it's new generation.
Hey, please, some modern things don't make sense to me.
Because you're connected to him or her through love.
Oh, so that's the essence.
Yeah, so I think that's the thought process behind the name. I don't know. I stand corrected. That's on Kelele TV everywhere.
Moving on. So today we want to talk about mothers. And the thing about mothers is that I think in Kenya or mostly in Africa, there's just a code. There's just a code for mothers. Like we know this must be an African mom kind of thing. And we want to like reminisce about our mothers growing up. Similarities. What is that one thing that each and every single African mom is known to have or is known to do? Like it's like a secret code, or not even a secret code, like unspoken code about African moms. Maybe you can tell us one or two.
I have one, but it might be a little bit. No, it's not even PG. I'll just say it. I know many of us have gone through it. The moment your chest start blossoming and you grow a little height than your mother, and then you decide to be slightly disrespectful, and this is how it goes. Sasa juu unaona kifua yako imeanza kuwa kubwa, unafikiria tumetoshana. If you have not been told that by your mother, sit down, because huyu alifail class. That is a standard language for any mother that has a daughter. Yeah. Then, not now. The second one. Mutumie vitu vile mnataka kwa sababu mimi na baba yako tuko na mti bedroom tunachunanga pesa hapo kila siku.
Sarcasm. Yeah. Like you have to be sarcastic about single thing.
Everything. But those two stand out for me because kwanza the first one, you know, as you can see, the Lord has been sufficient. The Lord has been sufficient,
and faithful.
And this faithfulness has not started now. Even, okay, although then it was, but yeah, kahait kaliongezeka. And this one time I decided, you know what, and my mother was like, listen, my friend, just because 1, 2, 3 thing is happening to your body does not mean we are equal. I will whoop you.
Oh. And then it makes it worse if you're taller.
Yeah. Even today, most people consider me short, but when I stand with my mom, of course I'm taller. And let me tell you, I was told, nitakupiga nikupeleke mochari na nizae mwingine. Yeah, anyway, that did not happen. Clearly, you can see I'm here.
African moms and being sarcastic about everything. Like when you're using maybe mafuta and they're like, yeah, tumia mafuta kwa sababu babako anafanya Bitcoin. Or just
why?
anything.
What was the reason? Ungesema to stop misusing the...
And then there is, of course, the weeping. I don't think anyone in our generation has missed whooping in their childhood. Like, I don't know.
With the cooking, mwiko. Wacha nisitumie... Let me not use the whitewashed version at cooking stick. No, mwiko. That was a weapon of mass destruction. End of discussion.
And of course, the mwiko. There are others who were sleepers.
No, do you know they were combination depending on how much you've sinned.
Or also depending on what is closer.
Yes,
to them.
But sometimes they'll align them and then pick your poison. Which one do you think you'll die first? Is it mwiko? Is it sleepers ya umoja? Because that one was heavy. Or is it a belt?
And then there's this other thing about African moms keeping. There's a whole drawer of used shopping bags. There's another drawer of used plastic containers to be reused, and I am sure most of us have still borrowed that behavior up to date.
Tell me why. We have a whole can of biscuits, but inside ni mchele. Why? Or you have like a flat one and you think, hizi ni bika. Ukifungua unapatana na sindano ya kushona na uzi na vifungo.
African moms. But Shaz, you've also borrowed something there.
Of course.
You can't lie. I am sure there's a storage somewhere for you.
The drawer for old bags, that is a must. Listen, if you're not doing that, and not even as an African person, as a black person, we need to have a conversation because we are the biggest, environmentalist actually. Yeah. We do not waste. Even when back then in Kenya, when you used to use polythene, what aside to shift to cotton and woven bags. Mm-hmm. Back then, you'll have an entire cabinet dedicated for that. That's number one. Number two, kama container kwenyu kwa fridge iko na ice cream, you are banned from being African. Those things are not meant for ice cream.
They're meant for githeri, boiled
githeri, njahe, and everything.
And you know what? The most funny thing about that, Sharon, is sometimes an ice cream container would appear in your fridge or even at home and you never even bought it in the first place.
Yeah.
And you're like, where did this even come from? You never bought any ice cream.
Exchange program.
But there is an ice cream container there.
Yes. And those who buy things with jars, the glass jars, you know we do. I'll give an example. There's this brand called Kapute that sells crushed tomatoes, pickles. Thou shall not dispose that glass. Hiyo ndio tutaweka nayo majani. Hapo ndio chuvi tutaweka. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Then I wanted to ask you, was your mom or is your mom still like obsessed with your weight? Because I feel for me and a lot of others, your mom is just always like, umenona, umekonda, umenona.
I think, yeah, that's a never-ending conversation. So I'll go home and she'll just look at me and be, na umejaa. And then I'll go again and be like, last time ulikuwa hapa, hiyo nguo ilikuwa imekushika, saa hii imekuachilia.
Haukuli?
Kwani haukuli? No, she's never asked me if I'm not eating. My history with food since nikuwe adult imekuwa nzuri, kinda. But yeah, that conversation of umeongeza, umepunguza. There's always care is never constant.
I think for me, my mom has always been obsessed about me becoming fat.
but do you know that's an African thing actually? Like, yeah. I feel like ideally, before we got westernized and people started looking, you remember the early 2000s all the way to end of the 2000s? We're in the 2020s. So I'm speaking of around end of 1990s to all the way to around 2010 there. Model figure. Ni mkonde mrefu. And then ukwe mweupe. You are the standard. But when you take off that, majority of Africans believe in people having big bodies. If you have a big body, means you guys are wealthy, you've been fed well, you're living a good life, kwa sababu watu wa kuteseka ndio wanafaa kukonda.
And I think that goes way back to the African culture.
Yes. Like that's what they used to believe. If you see someone who's very slender and the collarbones are showing and the ankle is pointing, they're like, that one is suffering. Uyo kwao hawana chakula. If you see someone who is looking like me or more, good life. So me, back then, ningekuwa catch. Hot cake. Talk of town.
When you see hips, they're just like, uyu atazaa watoto healthy.
Uyu kwanza, hapa tuna range ni 10 to 15.
It's very insane because standards have changed each and every decade.
Yeah,
I think standards evolve.
Of course, from slender we went to the Kardashian style where you have a tiny waist, very voluptuous hips, and an up. No, we went to, before that, there's the, what's the name? Wendy William kind of style where you have a very big bust and then you're slender. And we saw that with Akina Britney Spears.
Yeah.
And then
that's the time now breast increment surgery was like
the thing
back
watu
then.
walikuwa wanakaa lollipop.
I think also it was influenced by these animes, or I don't know if that style influenced the animes, which came first. I don't know.
I'm not sure, but yes, because right now the anime body has changed to almost the Kardashian, where you have a very very tiny waist, and then you have voluptuous hips and a very big bust. Anyway, we digress. Back to mothers. These are very common phrases, and I know, Tracy, you've gone through it, where you just passed by mistake and 1, 2, 3 spoons clattered, and then your mother shouted from 10 kilometers, Tracy, vunja zote. Unajua nini? Kujia hata hizi ziko kwa wadiro. Sijui kama mlikuwa mnaita kabati yenu diro. Kujia hata uvunje hizi ziko kwa diro. Chukua zote, hata mimi ukitaka nivunje.
And you know, one day I remember, because when we were kids, we used to be punished for breaking cutlery, for breaking the thermos, because it was like carelessness. Then one day my mom broke a thermos. We used to call them thermos, but we know if they're not thermoses.
Thermos is a brand.
Another thing we should talk about on another topic, how we generalize everything.
It's called Kenyan. Is it Kenyanizing or Africanizing? Anyway.
So one day my mom broke a flask and I asked her, no mom, juu wewe unatuchapanga tukivunja thermos, wewe ni nani atakuchapa? She told me, mimi hakuna mtu ataniuliza juu mimi ndiye nilinunua.
I once pulled such a stand on my mom, like, sasa mom, sisi tukivunja glass ABCD na wewe umevunja. Akasema, mimi sikuvunja, hii ni makosa, hii ni mistake. Na I'm like, kwani sisi hatufanyangi mistake? Yenyu ni carelessness, mimi yangu ni mistake. I was like, wow, reasoning. Anyway.
And then one final one, I think, religion. I think like most of our moms were like too religious. I don't know if there is anyone who never experienced your mom being extra religious, forcing you to go to church.
Sunday school.
And at some point I was feeling like I can't wait to get out of this house, because
I used to enjoy it because of two things. One, God forgive me, I'm not proud to say this, but one, nikipoa sadaka nilikuwa na divide mara mbili. Moja ni ya kanisa na ingine ni ya kukula ice. So, and that's the only time, like, when I was young, my mom used to like give me pesa, nasikia yes, niko na pesa. So if I'm given like a 20 shilling coin, I know 10 bob ni ya kanisa, 10 bob ni ya ice.
But were you told that ama wewe ndo ulijiseti hizo rules?
No, those were mine. That's what I'm saying. God should I'm seeking forgiveness. I have been seeking forgiveness since I saw the light. That's one. And then number 2, playing. But now it used to be a problem when we go and then Sunday school is over, but the main service is not over.
So
and then they say,
as you wait,
watoto wasicheze, muingie church kubwa. I'm like, why am I staying here for another 2 hours? And I already had my session. And you cannot sleep. Sleep. It's a crime.
For us, we were not allowed to go to the main service because it was more of a distraction. So either you go home or you wait for your parents outside.
Sasa us, we were not allowed to chase outside because where we used to live, there used to be sugarcane plantation. So they were always scared that you might go far off. And then past the sugarcane plantation, there was a stream. And it was kind of dangerous. So you come off Sunday school, you join the main church. And I used to find it so boring. I'm like, Jesus, I already had my session. Did you write notes while in Sunday school? Did you have a book?
Not that I remember. A notebook, like to take notes?
Yes.
No.
Wow.
For us, it was reciting, memorizing, and singing. And
by the time we get to the recital, you have to write it down first, because how are you going to recite it if it's not?
It will be written on the blackboard.
Whatever is written, we have to write it. No, and then you take home and recite, so that next time Sunday when we come, you have it off head, you'll present it in church.
But I think when I got to like teenage, they changed the system whereby they used to give quizzes for what you have learned. I think that's when we started writing.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, we could discuss about moms all day long and the technique they used to raise us, and we're speaking from a girl's perspective, but also this one was across board. Whether you are a girl, boy, sarcasm is the same, statements are the same. If you're a man right now, but then you are a boy, if you are disrespectful and your mom felt you're disrespectful, angekwambia kwa sababu unaona wewe ni mzee sana, umerefuka, uko na ndevu mbili, unafikiria unaweza niongelesha vibaya, nitakupiga, tutapigana mangumi. Men can relate. Just looking how we were brought up, and the styles and the techniques, and how sometimes we've talked about this before, of how we express our feelings towards family members. What are some of the things you're going to lift if at all you'll be a mom in the future? Because nowadays you cannot assume someone wants children. So if you're going to be a mom in future, are there some things that you're going to borrow from what you saw from your parents and your mom specifically, and maybe highlight 2-3 things that will be like, that one, iyo inaisha na mimi, I am not passing the trauma down, or rather whatever it is.
Yeah, so for me, first of all, I want to be a mother someday. I don't know when. I don't have a timeline as of now. I ditched the whole timeline thing. But yeah, I pray to be a mother one day. So for me, when it comes to weeping, which I think is the major decision you have to make as a parent, I am not so sure whether I am all for weeping or not for weeping. I think it's just something I'll have to decide then. But I will definitely find a way of punishing my children. Doesn't have to be beating them thoroughly, but I'll find a way to punish my children that will make impact. For now, let me say I know nothing about parenthood. I've never even had to raise a sibling in my life.
Very good for you.
I don't know anything, literally. So I think I'll discover most of it that way. But I am not sold on the idea of like beating my children. No, I won't. But also when it comes to punishment, I won't be like, Katie, go to the corner. Go to the corner. What is that?
5 minutes corner. Go reflect on your life.
How do you tell a 2-year-old to reflect on their life?
Go think what you've done.
Like,
fikiria mbona umemwaga maziwa.
Sometimes I think about the Western ways of parenting and I'm like, no, can never be me. But it's fine. You do you. Like, if you tell a 2-year-old to go to the corner and think about what they have done, do you think that makes do you think they understand what you're telling them?
I think, when it's called terrible too. When a child is in that phase of terrible too, this is from observation. I am not a parent yet. They want to be where people are, and they're very jumpy. They want to be everywhere. And then you are telling them, stand there for 5 minutes without doing anything, and just look at the wall. They'll feel a pinch. Because, listen, I was watching an entire Baby Shark or Cocomelon, and then you're asking me, niangalie ukuta, dakika 5. They'll start crying. Like, I've seen it. For me, initially, it never used to make sense until I actually So, and my niece being given that 5-second rule, like 5 minutes rule.
And it had an impact. Like,
yes,
she felt it.
She felt it because she was doing something, and then in that midst year, she was carried away. She did something, and the mom was like, "Listen, this is not how we are going to do it. Go stand there at the naughty corner." And and she was told, "Fikiria umefanya nini? Mbona mami amekasirika?" The first gangster, first minute, third minute, and not turning. They're like, "Why am I here?" And then they started crying, and then they come, "Mommy, I'm sorry, I did ABCD." I'm like, "Oh, so it works." Yes, if you actually think through, it does work. But it also depends with your child, because if your child is a rebel, hata umweke kwa kona gani.
Yeah, that's why I said I am not sure what form of punishment I will use for my children. I know there has to be one, because of course I want disciplined children. But the whole idea of how we were beaten with slipper, moiko, that's not me. I don't want to be that kind of parent. And then there's this other one for telling your teenager to go to their room. I mean, like, for me, that's the best thing my parents could ever tell me, to go to your room. I will happily go to my room and lock myself up. Is that even punishment? Go to your room.
Go to your room. You're telling someone to go to their room. That room has a laptop, has a phone, has an iPad.
So for me, I feel in this generation, something that would really be a punishment is taking away a teenager's phone.
No, why would I take away a phone? I'm not taking it. I'm just switching off the Wi-Fi. And you don't have money. Let's see what you do.
Yeah, because actually me, I wasn't allowed to have a phone in high school. And it used to be...
Right now, kids have tablets. So
even in primary school, my goodness.
I feel like, personally, right now, with the way I'm just seeing teenagers out here living their best life, switch off Wi-Fi.
I'm scared. To be honest, I'm scared.
Yeah,
imagine us crazy. The way we are, and then now we get to become parents. Like, the world in which we are bringing our children to, for me, crazy. I feel it's a messed up world. It's a crazy world. So I'm like, oh my God.
We were here complaining, TikTok children. Sasa sisi wenye tutapata watoto wetu watakuwa It's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be wild. I don't even like thinking too much about it. I'm just like, one day, when God blesses me, I'll be a mother. But I don't want to think too much about it, because this world is effed up.
At this point, let's just go to Japan. It's the safest place to have your kids. Now the issue will just come in with color. Moving on.
And then maybe one thing that I admired about how our parents raised us is how they supported us through life. Basically, like, they see you want to do this, they just encourage you, they motivate you and all that. They may not understand it fully. They may not understand how to be resourceful towards maybe your hobby, but at least they will encourage you. I think for me that was really dope. And then the selflessness, we cannot forget that.
Yeah.
How our parents are really, really selfless, even up to this big age. Like, you would literally tell your mom, Nico broke and she only has 500 shillings. And she will give you that 500 shillings. She doesn't care if it was the last coin that was in her bag. As long as you ask, they will always give. So, cheers to our parents, man, and our moms.
I think you've mentioned like a few things I also feel I'll want to carry forward. But in terms of, I feel like, I don't know, this is just a feeling. I will cross that bridge when I get there. I feel like, to some extent, I'll borrow some of the quote-unquote aggression that our parents had. Why? Because as much as the modes are changing, I feel like, to some extent, I know people who follow our dear psychologist might not be of this idea, but this is just my own personal opinion. Like, at 5%, I might use that aggression for my children. I don't want to traumatize them, but I might use it when need be. I feel like that kind of shaped me. Of course, we have traumas. You see us laughing here, but kuna watu walipigwa, wewe unapigwa upside down. But I'm not saying I'm going to like physically abuse my child, but you see like the sarcasm one. it's aggression. Like I to some extent I feel like I'll apply such aggression with me. Tumieni wifi, muweni hata cable ya jirani muconnect ndio internet ikue fast. You see, just to spice things up a little. I'm not trying to traumatize my children, but I'm just saying I might lift something. When it comes to like physical kuchapa, hiyo tutajua tukifika hapo. Because kuna makosa ingine maneno haiwezi tatua.
Kiboko tu ndo itasikia.
As an African, kuna makosa kidogo tu, you need just, touch a little bit of
ni makosa.
A little bit of skin contact so that, I'm just scared of when I become a teenage parent, because I feel like teenage is such a wild phase.
Because you can't beat a teenager.
Mtapigana.
Yeah.
Alafu, by then now things will have changed even further. So I don't know what I'll be dealing with, but
they could sue you.
Why do you want to sue me? And right now you can't even pull that I am a mother, I gave birth to you, because you'll be called toxic. You'll be called a narcissist mother. Hey, dunia. But yeah, so, but one thing I feel like I will not carry forward is the aggressive beating. Like, mbona unanipiga niko unataka kuniua? Ni sawa, nilichemsha maziwa, ikaisha kwa sufuria ikatan black, karibu nyumba ichomeke. But why do you want to kill me? Sasa na ungekuja upate hii moto iliniua, si ungelia? I'm just saying that is one of the things I ever did, and let me tell you, Tracy. You need to take a composition a day to remember.
I saw this meme saying like right now nikipewa hiyo composition ya a day I will never forget. Hey.
I have content. I could write a book. Na nipewe 40/40, because why was it 40/40? Anyway, I digress. But yeah, things are going to change, times are changing, but deep down I know I'll still have that African parent in me. It may not be 100, but I'll know at around 40-50% I'll still have it. I'll be modernized with a touch of African.
Yeah. And people usually say until you become a mother, you don't understand your parents.
Yeah.
And when you become a parent, you're like, yeah, now I get it. Now I see why you did this, why you reacted like this, why you behaved like this. And also to some extent, it's just meant to protect us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now we're just speculating. Maybe I'm just speculating. Maybe when it comes, I'll be so like, oh my God, such an adorable child. Why would I be so sarcastic? Anyway. Yeah.
That's it from Sharon. Maybe one final question. I don't know if it's what or which. What is the most powerful or most admirable trait you've observed from your mother, or you admire from your mother? Like just one. Like you think this stands out for me.
I'm just trying to put present. She really gives it her all. Like if she decides I'm going to help Tracy, it's not helping Tracy 50-50. It's helping Tracy at 100%. Whatever it will cost, I'm going to help. Whether there's something I'm going to get back, or whether I'm just helping for the sake of helping, I'm helping. And I think I know in the current world we live in, that might be a strength and a weakness, because of course people are going to misuse you, but I've seen it so many times. And she used to tell us, if you're in a position to help someone, help them. And don't help with the thought of, I'll get something in return. Just help because you're in that position. If you know kabisa, Tracy needs ABCD, and as Sharon, I have ABCD, and I'm in that position of helping. Help. And when you help wholeheartedly. Usisaidie nusu-nusu. Sasa nikifanya, no. Help and live.
Senda wema
nenda zako.
Yeah. I think for me, when it comes to my mother, I first of all, I admire her. Like I could write a whole book about who she is, but I think her best quality is her optimism and her positivity. She's just positive vibes. She's the person who will tell you not to give up. She's the person who will tell you we don't know about tomorrow, but you keep moving, keep fighting, don't give up. We don't know what we are going to eat, kesho. It's fine. Be positive. Something will come through. Like her optimism really keeps the whole family going. And I think that is one of her strongest traits.
Cheers, Mama Tracy, if you ever come across this video, and don't judge me. Thanks.
Anyway, the whole point of this episode was basically to appreciate our mothers. It may seem like we have said a lot of negative things, but that was not like the main aim of this video. It's just to like throw back a little bit about our childhood, because we all know and we all understand the sacrifices they made for us. And it's also kind of comic how almost all African mothers are the same. So it's a code. Like I said, it's a code. So maybe in the comment section, would like to hear like what is one of the most memorable things or experiences you had with your mother growing up, and what is the most important trait you admire in your mother. Also, maybe what would you like to carry forward from what you've learned from your parents, and what are you like, no, I'm gonna do it differently. So keep the conversation going. In the spirit of Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to all the moms that are watching this, moms that have been, that are, and will be. And until the next episode, keep talking to us and engaging with us on all our social media platforms. That is Kelele TV on literally everywhere. So use the hashtag DadaNextDoor or DNDKE, and we'll be sure to find your comment and interact with you. So thank you so much, guys, for your time, and we are grateful. Till next time. Peace out.